small wieners and big dreams. What's this thing called?
Small creators, big dreams.
First, small creators, big dreams, bigger egos. Now.
Yeah. This is the first episode.
And probably the last.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we've always had the idea to start a podcast, but like, because we've always talked about things all the time, and then we just would do a test podcast, and then we have recordings, and they're not that bad, but we just never really got around to it.
The first episode was with the dollar store mics.
Yeah. And we had to sit away from each other.
Yeah. But anyways, no, the main thing was we're kind of, I guess this first one will be like kind of an introduction, and then like we're kind of doing this with the mindset of like we're just doing it, you know, when we got time, put it up and kind of leave it at that, because obviously our main focus is our individual YouTube channels, CrayJayy and then AaronSayWhat, and so yeah, this is kind of just something because we talk a lot in between recording sessions. We also work together. I mean, we grew up together, so we've had plenty of conversations. And then just in recent times of doing the YouTube things, we were talking. It was like, and then we kind of decided like, hey, some of these things we're saying would be cool for people to hear that might be in the same situation of like a small YouTuber or someone thinking they want to try it and like not sure what, you know, to get into, or like, you know, and just because I know for me, and I don't, you could probably speak the same, but like once a channel that you watch or like whatever becomes so big, you can still enjoy it, but then you lose that connection of like relatability. Yep. So like if I'm wanting to hear advice from someone who is just starting out something, like it doesn't do you any good to be like, all right, the top guy on the top, like it's like, all right, well, what are you doing to get those? It's like, no, well, that doesn't help you because he's already at the top. Like, what did you do when you were at the bottom that got you there? You know what I mean? Rather than like, well, now that you're successful, what, you know what I mean? It's like, that doesn't really help someone, because it's a whole different ball game of like the starting of like 1 or 0 to like 10,000 subscribers. That is like probably the most difficult, I would say.
Yeah. And you definitely have like the more unique experience of the fact that like you had a channel that you grew to 100,000. And then, you know, like circumstances as a B, you restarted it and basically, you know, starting from scratch. So like that's why proof of the pudding.
Yeah, look at that. Same name and everything.
So basically, you know, you're starting from scratch. So then this podcast will hopefully, you know, have your unique experiences for those who have issues in the past of, oh, you know, my channel's dying, or my channel's not stagnant, or, you know, I don't know what to do. Should I start over? Whereas like me, I had the experience of starting from ground zero and going ahead. And and we had channels before where, you know, I had 1,000 subs within 40 videos, but that's a whole different kind of content, kind of section. I'll say it's easier, but not fulfilling.
Yeah.
I won't talk about that though.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing. Like, my case that we were saying is like, and that's why I want to show the silver play button was, at its peak it had 141,000. That's what it got to at one point. But yeah, and like, I mean, from my perspective, I don't know, like I said, if anyone stumbles across this, just a brief summary. Basically, that channel isn't dead because of like any controversy or anything I did. It was just I got big off one game, and then due to a bunch of things at that time, like that was when the adpocalypse started, and then so I had to move because it was my full-time job, and then the adpocalypse. Anyways, so I had to move, and then the place I lived had barely. You couldn't even qualify it as internet. So anyway, just a culmination of a bunch of things, but it basically led to the channel being, like I said, slowly dying to a point where it was then just losing subs and was impossible. It was losing more because of that. I got big off one thing, and when that one thing was done, I mean, I had 68,000 subscribers before that one game popped off. So I was already doing well, but that one game like over doubled my channel in like few months. And so that huge influx of subscribers when they were no longer there, because I finished everything, and a lot of them, some stuck around, but most didn't. Then yeah, it was just kind of that. But yeah, I know a lot of people. I mean, over the years when I was doing, I became friends with a lot of YouTubers, and I know a lot of them that just like, they just, whether like for me it was I think 2018 would be when I would consider the last, like that was when I was, all right, I'm done with this channel, it's just dead. I tried a few times after that, but that would be what I would consider, that was like the last of when I was doing it full time, like as a job, even though at that point my channel was so dead. But anyway, I knew guys where they just would never give up, or like just kept trying, and I understand from their point, because I was there, of like telling yourself like, no, I can bring it around. And it's like, but then once you step away for long enough and you realize it wasn't a matter of like, because some people think like, oh no, I'm still, it's not even a matter of like if you're still funny enough or anything. It's just your channel's dead, and YouTube does not does not favor dead channels, which again makes sense. I don't fault YouTube ever for my channel dying. Like some people have, plenty of people have on YouTube, the minute their channel doesn't do as good, they're like, oh, YouTube's fault. But it's like, no, all YouTube cares about, and I because I'm a perfect, like I use myself as a good case example, is I use myself as a viewer because I love YouTube. It's what I watch primarily. If I start watching a video of one new subject, let's say, you know, motorcycles or something, YouTube will just keep feeding me that, because it's like, all right, this is what you're into. So it's like, no, it's definitely not YouTube's fault. But yeah, like people that just kept trying, that I can do it, but it's like at the end of the day, I kind of realized like it was just more stress, and then I realized like, no, the channel is so far dead that it's like impossible. So yeah, I just figured enough time has passed. I was away from it for so long, and then I realized like, you know, working a regular job, and even the job we have, I actually enjoy. It's not a bad job at all, but I still realized that, no, this is my dream job. Like I said, I had it as a job, and I just realized it, because YouTube for me was my first like actual job pretty much. I had a few little ones in between, or before that, I mean, but so I didn't realize how lucky I had it until I, you know, afterwards. I mean, I was happy, and I was lucky. I knew that, but I didn't realize just how good I had it. Because I remember I'd get up and like, oh, I don't want to edit a video for like 3 hours or 4 hours. I'm like, I don't want to do this, edit a video. Meanwhile, I was like, but then I asked myself, like, well, would you rather edit a video for like 2 or 3 hours? Because that's the only, playing the game is fun. That doesn't feel like a job. The editing part is where it kind of feels like a job. But it's like, would I rather edit a video for 2 to 3 hours, or go work a manual labor job and be away from the house for like 12, 13 hours? So then it's like, all right, I really realized how good you had it, or how good I had it. So for me, yeah, just enough times passed where I was like, all right, screw it, I'm doing it, and I'm doing it right. Because that's another thing with small channels, that a lot of them fall into that kind of, I guess they have that thinking of, well, I'm just starting out, so I can just upload whenever, you know what I mean? No one's watching me, so it doesn't really matter if which is true to some degree, but no, you're establishing for you yourself, you're establishing, all right, I'm going to work at this, and you're kind of putting a base of like, all right, consistency and whatever, so that you're building that as you're growing. Because even if you start getting like, let's say 2 to 5 like supportive viewers that are watching every time, if you still have that mindset like, oh, I'll just upload whenever I feel like it, well, the people that are there wanting to support you from day one, because I always think too, the other craziest thing, and then you can talk more about this, I'll pass it to you, but I always think the craziest thing is the fact that someone could start a channel, have like 3 subscribers, and because YouTube is so massive, but the craziest thing is that someone can find your channel, let's say with like 5 subs, and actually decide to support you. Isn't that wild? Like, because look how much content there's on the world. There's so many big YouTubers who already have it all figured out, but the fact that people are still willing to support someone who's just new to it, or just figuring it out, or a tiny channel.
Oh yeah, well, perfect example. Like, like I have played games on sponsor us, jerks. I have played games that I'm like, this is like 3 or 4 years old or a year old. I'm like, oh, I'll play it, but then it does really well. Perfect example is past weekend. Like I played a game. I'll say Poppy's Playtime, and I gained like almost 11 subs during those 2 playthroughs, and I'm like, that, like, people decided to out of their time, out of their life, to sub. And now, like, the thing about consistency, yeah, like I was always going to do it too, consistency, and I'm doing really good on that. But I think it's a human nature. We love routines. We, you know, when you when you change your routine, and you say like, for example, like wake up at, you know, afternoon, when you're used to waking up in the morning, you feel like crap. You know, you feel exhausted, even though you probably had like good enough sleep. So like when if you put it in perspective of, you know, well, maybe I'll post random times, random this, random that. Well, people are either going to forget about it, people not going, or they're not going to support you because they're like, well, why would I support somebody who's, you know, maybe posts once a blue moon rather than this guy who posts every single week? And, you know, same day, times can be different. I mean, I did change it one time this week, which was I did it on a Monday rather than a Thursday, but I said I keep it to 4 videos a week. So I'm really excited for that.
Because I think some people get in the wrong impression of like, all right, well, I'm making the content, so the viewers should be like as if they owe you something. It's like, no, I mean, on the flip side of that is like, if you're uploading your videos as content or uploading your videos to YouTube, I mean, you owe the viewers to give your best, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like otherwise, I like, for example, when I was, like I said, doing, because I had my first channel, like my main one that was like the with the silver play button. It's like when that was like dead in the waters, and I would just come back and I would try like, all right guys, I'm back. You know, months would pass. I'm like, all right guys, I'm back, and I'll upload like one video, and then a week would go by, upload not like I can't. Like I said, I look back at it, I'm like, well, yeah, no wonder I couldn't expect people to show me the same amount of support because I wasn't putting in that effort. Like, you know what I mean? It's like, it's not fair for me to like slack or, you know, barely try and then expect them to give 100. If I'm only putting in 50% effort or 60% and then expect them to put in 100% of support. So like, these are all things that, and this, a lot of it's just growing up, but like you realize like, no, it's like a two-way street with the YouTube stuff. Like obviously the content, it's, as a viewer, again, I love watching YouTube, but as a creator though, I also, like I said, gotta be, and I've always kind of maintained that too. I've at least always had that mindset of like, I always appreciated my, like, there's channels out there, and again, nothing against them, it's just that people roll different ways. But it's like, I mean, I would see channels that they would like grow the channel, get 1 million subscribers, and be like, all right, thanks for 1 million subs, guys. And it's like, that was it. Or, you know what I mean? Never ever. And it's like, again, not everyone has to show gratitude, I guess, to each their own. But for me and how I was, because coming from a small town too, where we grew up, when I got like the silver play button, I remember like I said, I was fighting back tears in the video. Like it was like, cause I couldn't believe it. I'm like, someone from where we grew up with like such a small school, like our graduating class was like 20 or 30, whatever. It's like, then to like where I was basically at that point, my consistent average views were like 10K, and some of my videos were getting like hundreds of thousands, and one even passed 1 million. But it was like, it's just like, for me, it was mind blowing. So like to go from that to then again with this journey starting completely over from scratch, for me, luckily enough time has passed where I didn't think of it as of like AaronSayWhat 2.0 or like a trying to reignite that old flame. You know, I made it known to the people that were fans still that wanted me to return, and that was their thing. I did, you know, because of course I was like, hey guys, if you want to support this new, but other than that, it was just like, I'm starting from, you know, I had a little bit of a head start. I think I gained like, actually, I think I remember it being like 69 or 68 subs was my initial when I told the old channel, which goes to show it has like 118,000 subscribers because from 141, but over the years it just keeps losing. But yeah, I think I only gained like 60 something, but I was like, whatever, it's still a head start. Yeah. So, you know, but the way I looked at it is now, and a lot of the names that I see when they comment on my videos or whatever are names I don't even recognize. They're new people. And it's, and that part alone is kind of an interesting new take of like, whoa, there's so many people out there that, because even like 141,000 subscribers, that's a lot, but the amount of people on YouTube are like in the hundreds of millions, like millions and millions and millions. So it's like 141,000, while it seemed big to me, that was just such a grain of salt in like the full, on the whole beach or whatever. Like, so there's so many people that's never seen me before. So it's fun to see that kind of like go through. Like when I hit the 500 subscribers, it was like, all right, making a thank you video for that. It was just such a, because it took me back to like how it was way back when, of being appreciative for what you have.
Oh,
like I know you're on the road to 100.
Yeah,
on your channel.
And I had people like in the streams, because so like I'm doing like a different journey like as you, because you're strictly YouTube, and I was like, I've always been a streamer. I always enjoyed it. And it was always odd for me to switch to YouTube. Like it was just a weird talking to a camera by myself, even though I was doing it on stream. But no, I had people even say like that's a good goal to have, like, and they're like, go for it, like,
oh yeah, they
want to be part of that journey, which is really, really cool. And then for example, like I had it's coming up on a month, I had day surgery, and I was talking to you, and I said like, hey, I'm thinking about doing this, but I'm like, I'm a small channel, I don't really know, maybe. And you're like, go for it. And
well, it's funny because your streams lately have been doing great.
Yeah, and the support I'm having is just crazy for such a small YouTube channel. That when there was even parts when I was stuck at 21, we used to make fun of it.
Yeah, like I mean, you were at 21 subs for like
months.
I don't know. It felt like most of the summer.
Yeah.
And then you went up to like 23, and then went and back down to 21.
Yeah.
So. I mean, and that's just another part of it. You do always, every channel gains and lose sums, but.
Well, I kind of expected it more so, because like you did show me out, and I'm like, I feel like they would expect high energy when I'm not that high energy.
Yeah, well, and that's the thing is like, well, I mean, you weren't high energy, especially at the start.
Yeah, you were definitely like, at the start.
Because when we're like off camera, well, I mean, we mostly are the same on camera and off camera. That's kind of something we always try to pride ourselves on, whatever. But like, it's like, it's not like when we're hanging out, you're like, yeah, hey, we're both very boisterous and loud. But like, but yeah, no, I think probably what it was the initial bit was, because we kind of started, like I said, he made his channel, I started over. It was actually, we were working together this past, like last year, 2025. Anyway, spring, well, it was like May, or we made them in June. But anyway, we started just floating the idea around, and it's like, then we finally was like, yeah, let's both just, let's try it. Let's give it our all. Let's just like be serious about it, stay consistent. Anyway, but then, so yeah, I of course, being friend, I was like, all right, I'll help you any way I can. Cause I know what it's like. Like, I know what it's like. I just looked up my old channel's analytics. I was already telling you before even we recorded the collab video. But like, yeah, I had like 200, or I think I looked to see when I hit like 100. I never made a video for 100, but I made a vlog where I talked about 169 subs. And even that, I had like over 100 videos or something. So, and most of that 169 subs come from Alien Isolation. And then I had like, I think a long dark video that did good. But like, so yeah, I know what it was like to start from nothing. So I was like, all right, I'm gonna at least try to help, at least so you have start, even if it's like 1 or 2 people watching, that's like, at least it's kind of. But yeah, I think what it was is probably some subbed, and then they just to try to be nice to me, like, like, oh, Aaron says, well, but then they probably unsubbed,
which I totally understood. Like, I get it. Like as a person who, like, say someone shout out, oh, I'll check this person out. Well, it's not the same. Well, I don't enjoy it.
Not like, here's the other thing. It's not even, it's not like tooting my own horn, but another fun fact about my original journey was I got a shout out like from PewDiePie. So he used to do these shout out contests back in the day. Like, his first one was one other guy, and then Cinnamon Toast Ken, which is now like his best friend, IRL, and he's a big YouTuber as well. And then he did another shout out, and in that one there was a bunch of people, like 12 people or whatever, and there was some big, like, some names now that are big, like Davey 504 or Dave 504. This guy does play like he does all like bass guitar YouTube stuff. He's real popular now. But one of the names as well was Jacksepticeye. He was another one that got shout out. And Ohm Wrecker was in that same contest. Anyway, there's a bunch of YouTubers now that are all like big. Actually, some of them I don't know if they're still around, but like another example was Jacksepticeye. And I remember even Jack, who he had the best kind of shout out, because in that shout out, and same with the Cinnamon Toast Ken one, Pewds actually brought up their channel and played a clip of their video. So that way the viewer watching could kind of see like, this is funny. I like this guy. Whereas in the one that he did for me and in the group of us, he just put the names. Had 3 main winners that were non-gaming channels, because he said he wanted to do something different, because all the other shout out winners was all like your typical gaming content that made similar content as he did. So he had 3 main winners. That was like an animation channel, some like they talked about like gaming conventions, but not actual gameplay videos. And then one other one. Anyway, but then he was like, for the rest of the winners that he said, because I still remember, because it was like a dream come true for me, but he was like, he said it exactly like, he's like, now I'm going to put some names and links in the channel, in the description below, of channels that I thought were really entertaining and deserve, like, because these words have just stuck in my head, because I was like, but yeah, so he basically put another group of names that he said that he thought were really entertaining and that thought it deserved a shout out, but he didn't show any pictures or nothing. He just put our description. And so I was one of those ones, which I remember I gained like, I think it was 600 subs from it that day, and that was maybe like a few after like trickled down. But he also didn't title the YouTube video anything to do with the shout out contest results, and he like was super late on the shout out. He said like the shout out was like whatever, I don't know, like, and it was like 7 months had passed and we all thought he just forgot about it, and then he's like, I kind of forgot about it. So it was like super late anyway. But yeah, even for Jack, who had like, where he played a bit of the video, he even laughed and even did Jack's intro. He's like, top of the morning or whatever, so clearly that was a good sign. But even Jack, it pushed him from like 2,500 to 13,000, which is a good boost. But then that was it. So it just goes to show, like, even if you get a shout out from like the biggest channel, you kind of gotta carve your own way. Again, even if I'm like hammering in the ground, like let's say I have an audience, I'm like, guys, check out CrayJayy. But if our content's just not, let's say the people don't like people like me, let's say high energy, and yours is more chill. Like, I'm just using an example. Yeah, it doesn't matter how many times I say it. You know what I mean? So. But it does help. Like, I think that's why we will do collabs. Like, that way I can let people can hear you, see you, rather than me just like, you know me, I would give you a shout out all the time. But it's like, we just do the collabs or stuff like this where people can watch it and decide like, all right, I like both of these guys. Or if they're watching it and they're like, I like this CrayJayy, he seems chill, I'm going to check out his channel. Yeah. Because we'll link our channels, by the way, in the description of every. Oh, definitely. And maybe do some pop-ups of like certain things we're talking about, as we do this, because I don't know what consistency are we doing, like once a week, once a week? We'll figure it out. Either once a week or so, or once every 2 weeks. Yeah. Excuse me. But okay, continuing. So we were talking about the shout outs and stuff, like, so see, the issue I've always had, and then this is when I record, and I don't know, as this could be just a small YouTuber mindset or anything, but some games you try to play and you try to be, you're like, this gameplay, I'm going to be, energetic, I'm going to be well rested, I'm going to be hyper, and then the game just saps it out of you. It just sucks so much. Yeah, no, that's just a thing that never goes away. Yeah, like I said, over like, I mean, all because obviously, like you said, we've had channels ourselves, but excluding all those, just as far as my gaming videos, I'm probably nearing about, I think I probably hit about 2,000. Oh yeah, I would actually. It'd be about 2,000 videos. That's how many I made gaming videos. And yeah, let me tell you right now, no, even when I was like peak killing it, you just get in the game and you're like, there's just nothing because the way I like to think of the commentary of games is like you're playing off of, well, I mean, some, like, it's a style thing. Some YouTubers, they'll literally just say what they're seeing. Yeah. Like, okay, so they're like, okay, so I go here. Okay, ooh, there's a body. They're just observing. That's their commentary style. Where I always grew up on, like, I literally grew up, whether it was when my father was a long haul truck driver and I was in the truck and he would play all the comedy tapes, or I always grew up with comedy being such a big role of my life that in all the YouTubers, that's who I always gravitated towards. Like I literally got started on like the Rad Brad, PewDiePie, Markiplier, Jacksepticeye, Corey Kenshin, like all these guys that were very funny, you know. So that's how I kind of base my commentary, is like I'm playing the game and observing what's going on, but I'm also trying to like play off the game. Like if, you know, if there's a joke to make here, you know, while also not trying to force it though. Like, you know, you don't want to,
yeah, as I've done.
Cause I've also been there too. Like when my channel was like dying, and like when it was like my original channel was like dying, I remember like I mean, it was kind of natural to start to get in your own head thinking, oh, maybe I'm not funny. So then you try to be funny, and then looking back, I'm like, no, that was worse. Yeah. I mean, you know this, cause we can, and we'll talk more about this in later episodes, but another passion of ours is music. And we've made a lot of music over the years since 2011. We performed a bunch live in Toronto and whatnot, and New Brunswick. And, you know, anyway, so we both, the last show we did, actually, I remember cause it was a long time since the last show we did was like it was between that show and the one prior that was like a long time. It was years and years. So we were rusty, but we're like, all right, we're so excited. But then it's like we were rehearsing. When we're rehearsing out in my garage, because we record everything usually just to watch back to see how we sound and whatnot. Anyway, when I'd watch those rehearsals, it's like, all right, man, we sound good. We look like we're having a fun time. And then we get to the show, and whether it's our nerves getting to us or thinking we gotta go into like performance mode. I was the worst. I mean, I hate it. Well, you know, because we had this conversation. You hated yourself for a different reason afterwards. Yeah. But anyway, we do this show, and like, I don't know why. I think it was like nerves and being rusty, but I just resorted into like, okay, I gotta be this cool guy persona. You know what I mean? And I wasn't being myself. And then it's like, it's far less enjoyable. It's the same for content. People are like, okay, you got to think of that, like there is some guidelines or some things you got to, but at the end of the day, it boils down to, if you truly want to stand out, be yourself.
Oh yeah.
Don't try to copy like, oh, my favorite person is this, so I'm gonna be like, make content like them. It's like, well, there's already them. You know what I mean? Like, so it's like being yourself, and it's usually it was the same for music. Like, I was so disappointed in myself. I was like, why did I do that?
I was so cringe.
Yeah, pretty much. I couldn't stand it.
And see, like, yeah, like going on forcing the comedy, and then like you play a terrible game and you want to keep that high energy, but then at the same time you're like, you don't really want to crap on the game because somebody actually took the time and effort and all that stuff. But then like it's, you know, like I did like one of the games I played, what was it? It was like a burger simulator, patty making, and like there was no instructions, you just had to figure it out. Or Cult Vein is another example. Like here's the PT experience, no instructions, figure it out. But then there's like bugs and stuff, and you're like, well, okay, I spent 8 hours recording this gameplay for YouTube and had no energy in it. I just want to beat it. So like, that's a perfect example. That video is a perfect example. The audio was delayed at some point, and I was like, you know what? Screw it. I don't care. Which isn't great, but like I was so done with that.
Like I said, I've been there before on my old channel. I used to, like I said, when I did it the first time, I didn't think anything of it. So if a game was crap, I would just straight up be like, brothers, like there was some times where I crapped on a game and I felt bad after, because it's like the developer would watch it. And most of the time they were understanding. But now it's like, if a game is really bad, and I'm not gonna like lie, like I'm not gonna be like, no, this is great, but I'll just deliver it in a nicer way. Like there was a game I played. I mean, there's multiple, but the first example I think of is like Creepy Fishing. Is a game I played where I played a lot of the developers' other games, and to pad out, to make it a longer experience, they just made it so you had to go back and forth to these same places, but like you couldn't, like sometimes they would just remove the ability to sprint, or like this one you had to row a boat, but it was like so slow and it was so long. It's like, well, there's nothing even happening. What's the point? And then what was that one with the vampire restaurant, Bite
Night? Yeah, Bite Night.
Anyway, that one had the what moment was it that one person would die. I still got out of that video. And one person would die. You got to go put the body in the thing, and anyway, that whole thing. And then everyone's like, it literally was just one by one. you'd have to do the same thing. Oh, someone else dies. Now you got to go listen to everyone talk and be like, oh, well, who is it? It's like, and then the ending, which I thought was funny, but it was like so long, was the fight, kung fu fight scene. It's like, oh my gosh. I'm like, that I at least thought was funny, but I was like, okay, you could have made this shorter.
Yeah.
So like in my video, I think I say like during the moving, like slowly one person dying after another, I do say something along the lines of like, all right, it's fun the first time or the second time. I was like, all right, can we, like, this is just ridiculous. Cause that was a long recording session for me. I don't know. I can't remember, but it was pretty long.
Yeah.
Just that part.
And I think like some of it's on us, because it's like being frustrated, and then I think some of it's on the developer, because they make a game and they're like, oh man, this is fun, but like not everyone's going to think that's fun, unless the developer, like, there's rare cases, I'm not saying anyone's guilty of this, but they make it like that so that it reaches that 2-hour mark that you can't refund it.
Oh yeah,
which
some do,
which is kind of scummy.
Or even a difficulty, like how they'll put a puzzle or something in the game. It's like, well, they're the ones that made the puzzle, so clearly they know. To them, it's easy because they made. But then it's like, I play games where I'm like, I had to look up a walkthrough because I'm like, I could have never fit. There was no signs even pointing to like an inkling of a hint. Whereas some games, if you're stuck for a while, it will, like, a little thing will pop up, give you a hint or something, or your character will be like, I should go check out this room. It's like, that's good. I like that. Because again, a lot of games, especially indie games, are made with YouTubers in mind. It's kind of a two-way street now.
Yep.
YouTubers play the games, which helps give exposure to the developers, but obviously the developers making the games, giving YouTubers content to make. But like some of them, it's just like I said, it's just been there was a few where I just literally just nope. I hit end of recording, scrapped it. I was like, all right, moving on, because it was just like I said, do I want to put out a video where I was just frustrated? And it's like, no, I don't want, because again, it's just all about the good vibes.
Another one, for example, is like Asbera, clicking, like
the clicking one.
I think I looked up and it was like 10,000, and one guy did it, and I'm like, no, there's an auto clicker, because like my hand was cramping so bad, and I get it, like it was interesting, like the concept was interesting.
But again, 10,000, that's too much. They could have made it 5,000. It still would have been a more enjoyable experience.
I think the info for like games like that, they should play on very difficult, for like people who want a challenge, or because like then I'd be okay with it. I'd be like, oh well, that's on me.
That's why I like games with difficulties, or like a lot of games, especially indie like horror games and stuff, was you play the game, it gets progressively harder, and then if for the real diehard, like hardcore guys, here's Nightmare Night or hardcore mode. That's where people want the challenge, because some of us, like I used to do that. Now I'm like, I'll try it, but if it's like ridiculously hard, that's just not my style nowadays.
Yeah, we can talk about, we wanted to make this podcast like as a generalization for for content creators and viewers alike, so that you get a like a little sneak peek, because like eventually, like I want to do like eventually giveaways and stuff. I want to give back to my community. I want to because like when I started, it was I was even thinking on doing streams even long before, and I was tempted to do streams on Twitch, but then I was like, you know what, I know that's the new thing to do, where you stream on multiple platforms to have your best chance. I get it.
Yeah.
But it's dividing your attention in a way.
That's how I always was.
I don't think that's great.
Yeah, honestly. That's how I always felt the same way. It's more of it felt more corporate and more like capitalism, which isn't necessarily a bad thing. I'm just saying, like, it felt to me was like, all right, let me capitalize on this numbers. Whereas I don't view my subscriber as just numbers. Like I said, that's why the sub number is cool. And of course it's motivating to see that grow, but it's the comments, the likes, you know what I mean? People, it's what's the most meaningful, like, to me. And so like, that was the same thing when I started. I mean, I started on actually it's long gone now, but it was a new up and coming thing, and they reached out to me. They're like, hey, you want to stream over here? And I liked the platform in Twitch at the time. I never really cared for Twitch, but anyway, it was Hitbox, and so I was like, yeah, sure. I streamed on there, and then once that was like, I don't know if it was bought out or whatever, but then I was like, yeah, you know what, I'll just go straight to YouTube, because I was like, again, that's where I'm building the community. So it'd be weird if I'm like, all right, peace guys, I'm going over here. Like, so I just streamed on YouTube, and it was the most fun. Like for me, it made the most sense. When I was done, the VOD was up, because back then I just left the VOD up. Now if I do plan on getting back into streaming, it's just like I said, for me, that's just how my mind works. I mean, there's, like I said, there is some numbers, because it's not like YouTube is just a do your own thing. There is some science to it. And so like you do got to, worry about the watch time and stuff, but in your average click through rate and watch time retention. But for me, more so is I'm very, as I've gotten older, I'm very like one track mind. Like if I like doing, I like doing stuff, but I will kind of have to like, it's like instead of having multiple things going at once, all right, I'll do this, maybe get ahead on the gaming videos, and then all right, so I have a couple days to do, and then I'll do this. And like music, like lately we've been working on a new song, and it's like I was ahead on the YouTube video, so I was like, all right, let me get back into writing music. So same with like the streaming. If I just do it right now, if I start doing streaming right now, I just feel like, because I'm putting 100% into the video part, that's my main focus, I just feel like I don't have enough of me going to go around, because like I said, with the music. So like I do want to stream it, because back then, like I probably had, as far as fun goes, whether it was the YouTube streams or when I was a partner on you now, that was another thing that they reached out. This is when I was already like, I think I had like 60,000 subs or something like that. They reached out and they're like, hey, we'll make you a partner. And it wasn't like I mean, some people you could play games on it, but it was like Square. It was more so just kind of hanging out. And I just used it to hang out, and you could like kind of like video chat your fans or whatever. But yeah, I was just like, as far as enjoyment goes, I had fun times making, but man, those are the most fun, because you're like, you have a live interaction. Like I'd be doing something in the game that would make me laugh, and then the people in the chat, or people would, I remember one time I had donation alerts set up, and like I was like getting to a tense part in a horror game, and I was like, oh my god, what's that? And then someone donated, and the sound alert scared me, and I fell out of my chair. Like that was, I had so many. So the streaming I definitely want to get back to, and I have a channel already that I made a long time ago, so I'll just use that one for the streaming. But I just, like I said, for now I'm like, all right, I'm so invested in the main channel that it's like, all right, I've got to give my 100%.
Yeah.
And but for you, it's been interesting, because yeah, like just randomly your streams have been like performing great. Like your videos were picking up, but more of a slow burn, whereas your streams have been like the night you stream / the next morning, the views are like there
going
like
up.
you got.
Well, it was like, yeah, like for example, like Silent Hill 2, like I wanted to check out Silent Hill, so I played the first part, and I'm like, oh yeah, you know what, people might come to it. And I think I'm like looking it up, I think the first part didn't even do that well, honestly. But when it came to the stream, yeah, I had like 16 people, which for a 50 sub channel, I'm like amazed. And yeah, they weren't commenting on that, but I believe they were like watching on TV, which
that's totally what I thought. That, well, not to mention Silent Hill, it's older audience that watch that. It's probably some people that put it on to chill and watch, on their TV, is my guess. Because that's a whole other dynamic of YouTube now, is the fact that most people, I mean, even myself, when I'm up here working on, videos or whatnot, of course I have 2 monitors, I play it on my, but like for the most part of the other day, if I'm just chilling or eating, I'm watching YouTube on my TV. And yeah, like unless you're going like, okay, over A, over R, like it's so it's not user friendly to type a comment on a TV. So like we were talking about the other day, is like that's a whole other reason why I think a lot of YouTubers in general, just the amount of comments because YouTube is a bigger company than ever. There's more views on YouTube now than there ever been. There's more views, there's more money, because like I have friends, and when I was doing it, I know that what I used to make in my heyday, like in my peak prime, based off like 3 million views a month. And then because now also when I was doing YouTube, it was a big no-no. You were not allowed to say or discuss how much you made on YouTube. It was like, if you did that, you could lose your partnership. But now I guess YouTube, they're completely all right with it. You're allowed to disclose and show your earnings. And so I've watched videos just out of curiosity of these channels showing like what they've earned, similar location, content length. Anyway, and it's like people are making like based off the same amount of views I've make, similar content, similar length. I back in the day I even had good CPM, like $1 per 1,000 views. People are making like triple what I used to. I'm like, holy crap, YouTube is like insane now. But where was I going with that though?
The streams.
I was just saying about the
how much?
It was right before the money thing about how YouTube
big.
It was right before. Oh yeah, well, like yeah, it's but the like ever. There's people watching on TV, but yeah. So there's more people ever. But even when I click on all the people that I watch or that watched for a long time, yeah, I think comments. I would like it would be cool to see the total numbers over the years, because like of how many total views YouTube gets, let's say in a day, which is insane amount, but versus how many comments. I'm sure YouTube gets more viewers in a day now. Well, I know they do. But I would imagine that the rise of views versus comments are probably like tapering off, because a lot of people, I mean, even when I'll look right now at my analytics for the last 28 days and let's see how many people watched on TV. Back in the day when I used to do YouTube, it was like 5 to 10%, if that, of people were watching on TV. Now I know right now it's going to be like 50 probably.
Audience.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, 43%.
43. Yeah, 47. Yeah, 47 for me. So that goes right there. I mean, the fact that
it's the biggest one, yeah.
Like for me, computer is 24% and mobile is 24%. So that's 48. So basically just as many people are watching on TV as computer and mobile combined for myself. Yeah. So that's crazy. That explains why people, and even like, I mean, I'll remember to like a video on a YouTube television, but even that's still a little. I mean, you just got to go up and go down. Over the thumb.
Even subscribing is a challenge on a TV.
That's what I'm saying. So I think that plays a role as far as like interaction goes. Yeah. I think as far as like interaction, because most people watch on TV, that's lower.
Yeah,
which can play a little bit of a mind, like a mess with your mind a little bit, because like you'll be growing and then you might not necessarily see the reaction. But then it can also be where you don't see it until you upload that one video and you're like, oh, okay. Like, I mean, perfect example, I'll look right now. Like I uploaded that vlog recently, and it actually has like just amount of, like, I thought typically my vlogs would always do like way worse than my gameplay videos, because I was a gaming channel, so people are there to watch gaming. But like my vlog has way more likes than any of my other videos, that's not surprisingly, but it has like, it's like on par with my better performing videos, like as far as views. Yeah. So I was like, well, like, so there you go. People are, and on that, they'll take the comment, they just might not, remember to comment or like on all your gaming videos. But then if you post a video like, or a post where you're thanking them, then they'll be like, all right, here, so you'll see it in other ways. It just might have to be a slower burn, or, what I mean? Yeah. It's not that instant gratification as it used to be.
I think definitely now is the era of the silent viewer, which I am part of that. Yeah. I don't, there's things I watch I don't like. Well, I don't like all the time, like, because I'm like, okay. But now that I'm like content creating, I have to be better at that, because it's like, oh no.
I always try to do better, but I forget too. And another thing too that's big that people don't realize, because I do it myself, put on YouTube and then go about your day, whether you're, put it on YouTube on my phone, because I have YouTube Premium. I can't live without it now because I just can't deal with ads. But like another thing with YouTube Premium is that you can like have it on your phone, and then you can shut your phone screen off and it will still play and all that stuff, like background play. So another big aspect is people putting it on their TV and then maybe cleaning their house or putting on their TV and cooking dinner where they're listening to it, but they're not. That's a whole other aspect now. Whereas YouTube very much was before, was you come into your computer or on your laptop, you sit and you watch. That's it.
Yeah.
But now people, like, because of like, again, eating dinner and with a fam, like in your family, you would just eat dinner around the table and everyone would just talk amongst. But even that now, like I grew up in a household that dinner time, I have an older brother, and then like my mother and father, it was like the four of us here, everyone had the seat at the table. And that was it. Because phones weren't really a thing until later, but like that was it. You don't have a phone, even when phones are a thing, you just talk. But now, I mean, I do it. Do I sit at my table? No, I have a TV tray that I slide over and I'm sitting on my couch. So
at
it's
my desk.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. Like YouTube is, the dynamics have definitely changed, and that's something that I think anyone who's starting out, you just gotta keep that in mind. You know, it's these, and once you do start to think about these things, then you don't feel so bad if your videos don't get, let's say your views are going up, but your comments and stuff aren't. Well, it's probably more than likely like that reason, not anything to do with like, oh, people aren't liking me. No, they're probably like, they chose to. Well, that's it. That's, and at the end of the day, for example, your stream that had the Silent Hill stream that had the consistent 16 viewers. At the end of the day, because I was in that stream, that's 16 viewers, or I think I left before you finished it. But anyway, they were there for a long time.
Yeah.
So even though they weren't chatting, they still chose to click on it and stay there.
Oh yeah.
So they clear it. If I'm click on a video, I'm like, this sucks. I'm not. I don't stick around to watch it.
No.
So clearly they were enjoying it, but they probably just had, like I said, maybe they had it in the background, or they were just multitasking and then just didn't, watch on TV, so they didn't subscribe. But maybe if you do another stream or make a video of a new Silent Hill game or Resident Evil that's very similar, might get them back, and then maybe they'll win you over. Because that's the other thing too. For me, if I find a new channel, how often do I subscribe from the very first video I see? Not very often. I'll watch one, watch some others, and then it's like, all right, I like this, so I'll subscribe.
And another thing I want to talk about too is that kind of goes similar onto it is the sometimes being discouraged on posting videos or trying to keep up with like the newest game, right?
Oh yeah, that'd be a good thing. Yeah, by the time we're done talking about this, probably be the end. But yeah, that'd be a good thing to touch on. Because
so we're going to discuss about like trying to keep up with like the bigger YouTubers, the no commentaries, the guys that post the day of. A lot of times I'm like, I'm just looking right now. It doesn't totally matter to me. Like obviously you're not going to grow as fast, but like view wise, a lot of my games that I've been playing that are even older have been doing well, as the games even better actually than the games that I try to play the day they come out.
Yeah, but that does kind of track, because if a new game's out and popular, everyone's going to consume that within that day, 2 day, 3 day, maybe week at most. So if you're playing something that's older and no one else is covering it now, the competition has died down, then that's like, I will say one thing, and that's what makes YouTube, like, I'm not gonna, if anyone's watching this, and like, again, because this is like a small creator kind of focused thing, I imagine if anyone's watching this, maybe that you're a small creator, you're thinking about starting YouTube, I'm not gonna lie to you and be like, no, it's easy. It's not. It's harder than I think it ever has been. I mean, there's more eyes on YouTube, but there's also more competition. And like I said, the first time I did it and I got some decent success, the 141,000 subscribers, most of that growth, I mean, like I said, once you get the ball rolling, then you're growing. But any of my big growth months was because I was the first to play a game. Because it just, like I said, it just makes sense. If something new comes out and people want to see that, and they search it up and no one else is there but you, then there's no, whether they like it or not, they either just will be like, oh, I'll just wait, I guess, to see my favorite. Most of the time people are like, I just want to see whoever, I don't even care whoever this YouTuber is, boom, they click it. I mean, I do the same thing. If a game that I want, who's there, like, you know what I mean? So and then the other side though is that's step one, because you could get, like, let's say you upload a video of like the brand new, like, let's say you're the first person of the new Poppy Playtime Chapter 5. Let's just use that example because that's coming up. Let's say you're the very first person. That's a super popular game. You might get 1 million views on your video. But if you're crap, like if you're boring or no one likes it, then that's not going to translate. You'll get the eyes, but you won't get the subscribers. So then lies step 2 of like, all right, you can be first. That's step 1. Step 2 is you got to be entertaining, or like I said, appeal to at least some type of audience. But that's so, like I said, I've ruled it out. Yeah. There's no way now, unfortunately, for any small YouTuber, you're never, unless you just, like I said, and even that, like, unfortunately, it could be a matter of where you live. Maybe maybe your internet's fast, but not as fast as someone else. Because yeah, as soon as a game comes out, there's always channels that upload just the gameplay. No face cam, no editing, nothing, no commentary. So all they got to do is hit record on OBS. As soon as it's done, they just upload it. Or even quicker than that. go live.
Yeah.
They just live stream it, play it, no face cam, no done. You know what I mean? Like, so, and then not to mention, like, even like I said, when I was a bigger channel, my old one, once you get a decent sized following, developers will reach out and give you the games early. So you literally, like, I was telling CrayJayy before we started, when we were recording earlier, that I remember I would get games like some of them were even like a week before it would even come out. The developers would be like, you're allowed to record all your videos, have them all edited and ready to go. Some developers would say, okay, you can post 1 or 2 videos or up until this point of the game before it even releases, or just don't post anything until it releases, but as soon as it releases, you can post all of them. So of course I would take advantage of it. So I would have the whole game already recorded, videos edited, everything. So as soon as the game's released and everyone else is like, all right, I'm going to go make a video, I was like, public. Yeah. There you go. I already have it all. So, I mean, you can never compete with that.
So I would say,
so you kind of got to look at it like other ways to grow. Like, it might be slower, but just maybe use that as an opportunity to grow yourself, like be more entertaining or whatnot.
Well, I'm going to test it out too, because like I am doing the Puppies Playtime chapter 5, and I'm doing the day after. So I feel like if you get in relatively early,
you should 3 days.
You should be
I would
say.
Yeah. Well, it depends. The really popular games, like, I don't know.
Yeah.
If like stuff like FNAF, like Poppy Playtime,
it's a roll of dice,
but it's gonna be milked dry day one. Like, that's just how it is. But there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean? So
and I feel like it's one of those things where if you accept it, like, play. I think the best thing to do is play what you find interesting.
Yeah.
And if you enjoy it, it will come, because like I said, like, I streamed, I did the videos, and like videos pop off. Like, I have one video that's still getting views that's like 1.7K. View duration's just crap, but I was like one of the only ones who beat it. So just because, like, the other thing is you don't want to spend all this money. Luckily we're in a position where we're kind of well off. In reality, we're
not like hard up. Yeah,
like we once were, but like some people are. So like, if you want to put in the money, it's really your decision. Like I plan on playing the Resident Evil Requiem that comes out.
Yeah.
Do I need to? Probably not, honestly. Like, it's $90, but if make the decision based off what you are able to do and what you want to do, because
and a key point real quick, just because you said something earlier, I was just going to say, like, if you, let's say, like I said, Poppy Playtime 5 comes out, and if you sacrifice your video quality just for the sake of getting it out, like trying to get it out, let's say you just try to get it out day one, so you rush it, therefore the end product, aka your video, is subpar because you just didn't put any effort into it. Okay, well then it's like, people, let's say you do get views, but then people's impression of you is going to be like, all right, it was a subpar, it wasn't even that great of a video. Whereas, because that's another whole other aspect of YouTube, and I would say probably like 70%, it makes up 70% of it is luck. So you could have a video, and I've had it happen in the past, where it's like a month old or 2 months old, and it just randomly pops off. You never know. There's always that, and that's, again, there's that. I've told you that we've talked about this before, but you know that meme, I'll say it again for anyone. Listen, you know that meme, it's like someone underground digging, and it's like they turn around right before there's like all these diamonds. They're like this, there's like this much, you know what I mean? I'm talking about. Anyway, so it's like that meme of like, you're digging and you've been digging for so long, thinking like, and you just turn around, you're like, all right, I guess there's nothing here. Meanwhile, if you would have just kept going a little bit more, you would have struck gold or not. It's kind of that same thing as like a lot of small YouTubers. It's kind of the curse where you try and it could take, and I feel for it. Some people, it can take like 5 years and they might finally get like monetized or whatever. Yeah. That's a whole other can of worms, the 4,000 hours watch time. But anyway, but yeah, like, you never know. It could be literally the next video that could have been popped off. So it's just random. I mean, luck is, there's no denying it. That plays a huge role.
Oh, definitely. And just stay to it, because like as we do this podcast, you guys are going to be on a journey with us, basically, with like this podcast and our own.
We could do that periodically on this podcast as like a channel checkup.
Yeah,
I think that'd be cool for people watching, following the journey that see, like, you know, not every one, but like once in a while, maybe once a month or once every 3 months.
I'd be the same.
Okay, maybe once every 3 months, like a quarterly.
Yeah, we do once every 3 months, do like a checkup. And
yeah, okay. CrayJayy from in the summertime. All right, 3 months go by. What are you at? Still 21.
It's still 21.
But yeah, I don't know. I think that'd be cool to do.
Yeah.
Check up randomly, just because then it would show, like, give an insight of like, all right, they're doing better, so if I keep with it, then
yeah, because like I said, like the plan for this kind of podcast is to discuss with us, and like who knows, we might meet people on the journey and interview them or something, like we could.
Well, I was just about to say, actually, if we like keep doing this and start getting people watching, thanks so much, by the way. Yeah. But if so, I would like to, because again, I grew up listening to shows like radio shows, and another show I grew up listening to was Loveline, where people, that's all they do. They take people calling in with, and asking their advice. Anyway, I always love that style. So if we get to the point where, people are watching this, if you guys want to comment, we can read your like asking a question or whatever. We can do that on a podcast. All right, guys, we can pick a handful of comments, and then we'll have a section of the podcast where it's like, all right, we're gonna answer your comments, and then here you go. So this comment comes from blah blah blah. I think that'd be cool. Yeah, like that's the same vibe as our channels. We want to build that community and actually have the connection of like true, like, friendship of like, not just like, oh, we're a creator and we want to have that tight community, because like it's it's much more enjoyable. So yeah, that'd be another thing we could do.
Oh yeah, like at the end of the episode, or
yeah, like the last, maybe like the last 20 minutes or something, do like yeah. I'm excited.
That'd be awesome. I think we're reaching that point of the show. Yeah. So if you guys like this, hit that like button. That helps us, let us know. Comment down below if you have any questions on.
Subscribe. Ring the bell.
Yeah. Comment down if you have any questions for us. Like we said, we're gonna probably do that. The following episode, but we don't know when we're going to get questions. So like, it is whenever it is.
Yep.
So subscribe to all our channels. I don't know.
AaronSayWhat, CrayJayy. The links are in the description below, as well as on the channel.
And till next time.
Toodaloo.